Hello and welcome to Las Blancas Podcast.
Welcome back with the second episode of 2026. Uh, this time to talk about our weekend's game where both the men's and the women's team played the same opponent, which happens quite rarely. And it's always fun to see both the sides winning, and especially men. They needed that badly. But yeah, we are here to talk about Real Madrid's 2-1 win over Levante in the Liga F as we try to get our 2026 back on track after a win against Sevilla and a loss against Athletic Club in the second game. We wanted to bounce back in this game, and it wasn't like a very convincing win or like a very dominant win. Yes, we did dominate with the ball, but it wasn't a big margin of win against a side that firmly sit at the bottom this season and will probably be relegated. It looks like. So, a side that is struggling a lot, and not long ago they had players who were hitting 30 goals in a season for them, who we signed from Levante. So, they have had some really good players over the years. All of them have left, and it looks like the side is really struggling. But we will talk about it from Real Madrid's perspective, what happened right in the game, which players stood out, and some interesting things brewing up in the squad. Are we seeing an emergence of a new duo? Are we seeing the emergence of a new midfield general in the squad, and everything else that comes with it? And to do all of that, as always, I've got Kanita with me. Kanita, how you doing?
This is very exciting because this is one of those rare episodes where you'll see, where you will hear me giving an abundance of compliments towards Athenea. So I'm usually very conservative in complimenting Athenea, so enjoy while you can, honestly.
And I mean, she deserves the plaudits in this game because both the goals came from her feet. And one of them was a really good finish. The other one was she was at the right place to put it away, and she caused a lot of troubles as well. Like she was combining her combination play on the right hand side was quite good. She was coming inside, playing the ball in behind, and stuff like that. So quite impactful, to say the least. All the actions weren't always super effective, but I think she made the most of it. Like she was consistently trying to take on the opposition, and we'll talk about that. I think she is the major talking point from this game. But before we get into that, let's just quickly go through the lineup because there were some interesting choices, and maybe we are seeing more than a pattern now. We are seeing a decision, a conscious decision from Pau Quesada. So I'll go through the lineup. So it was Misa in goal and Shayla back at right back. Then we had a centre back partnership between Lakrar and Bell Anderson, which we'll talk about because it seems like something interesting can be built there. Then Sarah Homeguard started as the left back. The midfield was interesting. We had a midfield three of Irune at the base, Hanna Benisson starting, and we had Sara De Brits as well, and a front three of Athenea, Alba Redondo, and Linda Caicedo. Finally, a well-earned rest for like Callan Weir, who will be featuring, I think, majorly in the Super Cup, which we have upcoming, where we face Atletico in the semi-finals. So that's going to be interesting to see. But looking at this lineup, I think there are a couple of points that immediately stuck out to me. Which number one was the partnership between Bell Anderson and Mile Lakrar. Lakrar back from her injury, and I think like sort of this is a player that we know is going to be a mainstay in that defensive line, has been a mainstay, has been a star performer at the back. And then we have Bella Anderson, who has been getting regular opportunities, and she has done quite well in those, and has a unique profile. Like even when we discussed her, when it was announced that Real Madrid are going to sign her, we spoke about how she's sort of a unicorn, a very tall center back who is left footed, which is quite rare. Uh, so that works very well for us because now you have got a left footed center back and a proper right footed center back who are both quite comfortable on the ball, can pass it around, and can help in that build up, be involved in that build up phase of for the team. So it was very interesting to see in this game. And then I think now with Shayla back, I think she has sort of earned that position back, or maybe we'll see, probably see Eva Navarro in that right back spot again against Atleti. But you don't know. That is something that has been going on. It's an interesting development all season. But Kanita, what were your initial thoughts on the lineup, and especially on that center back partnership between Lakrar and Andersson?
Yeah, I mean, I was first of all, I was glad to see Irune start again. She started against Athletic last game, and now she started again, so that's very good. And we saw Hanna again. It's been a while, so
Yeah.
yeah, this was also a good game to start her, since yeah, it's a rotational lineup, resting before the Super Cup week. So yeah, great timing to put her on, honestly. And yeah, I was listen, I'm usually very excited to see where Bella starting, and especially when it's with Lacra, it's even better. Because we have this amazing like starting center back with Bella, and Bella is also an exciting player herself. You just said it, so yeah, it's very good to see those two together. Our 22, 23 players.
Yeah, I
So
mean,
yeah.
yeah, it does seem like there can be a very interesting sort of relationship building there, a partnership building there, and it could be one for the future where Lakrar is the more experienced center back and Bella Anderson is the up and coming left-footed center back. And I emphasize on the word left-footed because if we are to like sort of transition to a more possession heavy side that likes to build from the back a lot, having a left-footed center back as your left-sided defender is really good because it opens up a lot of passing angles, and if that player is comfortable on the ball, it's even better. So that really creates a very solid base for us to use during our build up phase. And I'm very happy that, because initially I was very skeptical about how many minutes Bella Anderson will get over this course of the season, but so far I think her role in the side has sort of uh, become more and more important as the time has gone by, and she has proved herself quite well in these recent games. Like she started against Sevilla, did quite well, then against Levante as well. Like she was quite good. Both Lakrar and her were quite good. They cleared a lot of whatever danger was thrown at them by Levante, which albeit small was still like there were threats, and they did quite decently in them. And like she has, whenever she has been on, like she has shown this really good ability to play with the ball, and she's comfortable, she looks comfortable on the ball, wants to get on the ball more and more, and that is always a positive sign for the team. And then in the midfield, like you mentioned, the two players, Irune and Hanna Benisson. I'll come back to you immediately for this. Like you mentioned, Hanna Benisson not featuring enough, but Irune has now featured in 7 consecutive league games, which in the presence of some of the names, if you look at them that we have at our disposal, I think it has come as a blessing for her that Toletti picked up an injury, and Tere isn't available yet, so she has gotten the opportunity to be that deep player, be that defensive player in the midfield three, where we have players like Sarah Debritz, Caroline Weir, Angel Dahl, and provide them rest while also maintaining some quality. Yes, she has had her off moments, she has had some difficult times, but I think overall, if you zoom out a little bit, I think she has been silently quite impressive. So, what are your thoughts on Irune's season so far?
It's no secret I love Irone. And honestly, like in all of this time that she's been playing, I can remember only two major mistakes and like nothing more. But she this year, since this year started, we had 3 games, which in total, if you add it up, it's 270 minutes. She played 200 of them, more than 200. So that's really good involvement. Started these last 2 games and featured in against Sevilla. And I love to see this. She's yeah, I don't know, like she's been getting regular. She's been playing quite regularly, getting minutes here and there. And as you said, in the last consecutive seven league games, and there were talks by Quesada from the end of December that Tere might come back in like February something. So he hinted at that in December. So, obviously, Tere being back from long-term injury, she'll have that transition. So, we'll see how it pans out. Also, Toletti is back now. She featured last game a bit. So yeah, we'll see. I still hope that this involvement continues with Irune because she's even in our bad games, she's been doing decently. She's not like, let's say, hurting anyone last game against Athletic. Very weird game, very weird in the midfield, but she didn't contribute anything bad to the midfield. She was decent doing her job. And yeah, I'm really, really glad to see. I really love Irune, how she plays, and that those like quick transitions from the back that somehow he wanted Angeldal to do in a few games when he put her a defensive midfielder, which she's not, but Irune is, and it's so different.
Yeah, and I mean this is where it comes down to profiles, because like we have players who can impact games in the attacking sense. We have Toletti who can do a little bit of box to box, who can be that combinative player in the associative player in the final third, who can combine quickly, you can create that increase in or a shift in tempo. You have got Carolyn Weir, incredible vision, line breaking passer, you can dribble her way through opposition defenses. You've got Sarah Debritz, once again, incredible on the ball, incredible vision, and all of that. But when you come to base of the midfield, we only had Tere, who can play the deeper role, who can orchestrate that play. And when she got injured, it was finding solution from within the squad. And it was like you mentioned, Angeldal playing deeper slightly, Toletti playing at the base, and it being Toletti, Angeldal, and Callan Weir. But it was still a little too aggressive of a midfield, because Toletti has that tendency to go up as well. Angeldal likes to be in those half spaces as well. So it was a little aggressive. But when Irune is slotted into that lineup, she is a combinative, like a very combative, like she's very aggressive in her duels. She would fight for every ball, and she would try to regain that ball, and she would sit at the base and try to move the ball around. Yes, she's still growing. She has still a lot to learn, and her frame is also doesn't help her a lot in these situations, but she has grit that is immense. Honestly, like uh it's it's very cliche to say, but I think like her grit towers over everyone on the field. Like she's so good in the duels. Like she'll slide in and she'll win it cleanly. She'll, despite her frame, she'll be very physically dominant on the opposition, very aggressive. And that is what the team sort of needed at the base, because when you're playing these many uh, good attacking players, because if Irune plays at the base, that frees up Caroline Weir to sort of play on the right flank, wherein she can come inside, and then you also have the ability to play Eva Navarro at right back, and then she can run forward, because we have a midfielder who can hold the position and who can be the anchor there. Yes, there are bits to improve in Irune's play, and I think when Tere comes back, I think we'll see a lot of good things happening in the team, because it will free up a lot of other players in the squad. So I think Irune has done a very fine job, and I think every time she has been called upon, she has delivered a minimum baseline performance in all of her appearances. Uh, Apart from one or two mistakes here and there, but I think she has done a fantastic job for her first season, first full season as a Madrid player. I think it's really good to see, and she has been one of the most impressive youngsters in the team as well. So like I hope this continues for long. But coming into the midfield, I think the other player that I want to like touch up upon is a little is Hanna Benisson, because it seems like she is in and out. She's mostly out of the team. Gets very infrequent chances to feature, and then it's very difficult to judge her performance because like she did not play since 13 December, was that? She
Yeah.
hasn't featured since 13 December, played this after a month basically. And there have been always like she hasn't managed to string together a series of like 3 games, 4 games where she's, consistently at least featuring, be it not in a starting role, but at least coming off the bench to impact. And whenever she has come on quite late when the game is, in a very difficult situation or it's already won, and then she doesn't get to showcase what she's capable of. And I think this is sort of, I don't know where we see her fit, or like maybe if one of the players is leaving next season, then we might have the opportunity to see more of Benisson. But currently, it's not really been as impactful as one would have hoped for. But I think it's also not down to the player and her quality. It's down to like we aren't able to find meaningful minutes for her in the team. So I don't know. What are your thoughts on Benisson so far?
Yeah, I mean, I won't be long. I agree with all that. It's really these random bursts of minutes she's been playing, and that game that she played on the 13th of December was against Granada. We scored 3 goals in the first half, and then she came on at halftime. So for the second half, we're already that gone. We already won it. And yeah, she had 2 more starts before that. Again, very sparse. So yeah, it's been interesting. It looks like he doesn't know what to do with her. Yet, I mean, she is young, and maybe he's also overloaded with midfielders. Let's say, and when we're having these different profiles of midfielders, yeah, I guess he just doesn't know what to do with her for now. So.
Yeah, it's sort of unfortunate, but I still remain optimistic that we will find a solution. Maybe because one of the players might leave this summer. And no, guys, I don't have any inside information. It's just me sort of predicting that maybe we might see a departure this summer in the midfield, and then that would open up gates for Hanna Benisson to showcase what she's truly capable of. But before we move into, talking about Athenea, who was like the MVP of this game, scored both goals and everything, let's talk a little bit about the game, because the game was an interesting one. We dominated the ball, especially in the first half. We had some 80% possession.
Yes.
We were all over them with the ball. Like we had utter control. And then Athenea, like from a corner situation, that whole chance transpired basically. And then Athenea put it away after Levante failed to sort of clear that ball. She just struck it really well, in hit the roof of the net and hit the crossbar, I think, and then went inside, and
Mm,
it was like the ball like dropped in inside the line, and it was called a goal. But I want to talk about Levante's goal, because what was that? Like if it would have gone in the first time, it would have been a spectacular goal. It came out and then it was struck so well on the same post where you have got a defender and the goalkeeper at that same side, and it still managed to creep in. So like if that first strike would have gone in, that would have been an impressive goal. Then it hit the post, it came back out, and it was once again struck with such venom that it went in. It was just impressive series of events that happened there. But this also sort of leads me to a bigger picture that was happening in this game. And if we can show the shot map that we had for this game here, that would be really cool, because in this game there were 30 shots that were taken in total for both the teams combined. 14 of them were shots from outside the box, 6 were from Real Madrid, but Levante, more than 50% of their shots came from outside the box. One of them was a goal. One of them they hit the crossbar. One they even took from their inside their own half, which is like crazy for me. Like whatever was happening in that game, I don't know what their strategy was, But Levante, since they had so little of the ball in the first half, I think that frustrated a lot from them. But things improved in the second half, and yet they were still like going for these low value, low quality shots from outside the box. And surprisingly, they were testing Misa quite frequently from there. Like
Yeah.
one of them coming in from distance, Misa had to like jump and hold the ball and keep it outside the net. One of them, as I mentioned, again hit the post. The goal that they scored came off of the post and back out, and then was struck again. So it seemed like a clear strategy. They might have that strength in them. They have players who can shoot the ball from outside the box, and they really used it. What did you make of it, Kanita?
I mean, it was obvious they were trying to get us to make a mistake, which which they did succeed in uh, quite a few times. That goal even came from a mistake between Misa and Shay, and then that long pass Shay didn't get to it in time, and just that player took the ball from her, just sent it away, and yeah, it was long gone from Shay from then on. But even later on, you'll see just as soon as they get the ball, they would try to rush something. And as you said, it was very weird, even in the second half when they did have the ball a bit more, after at the end of the game, it lowered to like 68% for us. So they did have much more of the possession in the second half. But yeah, it was so weird. It looked like they were trying some random things. And that's very, very long shot. Like that, like I don't know where it came from. And that also that one shot that yeah, like you said, like Misa just on got just on the goal line. Like what was that? They were just going
Yeah.
at it. But yeah, I don't know. Like aside from those like random shots, which were quite dramatic, honestly, I didn't really see them playing much. Yeah. Aside from that, that I can say anything. Okay, they did this in the game, so they did that. So they just try to get um us to make a mistake, and yeah, I mean they were quite good at it, honestly. Yeah.
And the reason I say that this was their strategy or whatever, like I don't know, it was also out of frustration because they weren't able to like uh keep meaningful possession and try to build an attack. They had 8 shots, like I mentioned, from outside the box.
Mhm.
They had one, two, three, four of them were on target, which actually tested it. One of them was a goal. So they were quite honestly very productive with those shots, and it was crazy, like to see some of those attempts in real time was absolutely. And it was mostly Erica who was sort of picking the ball in midfield and then just firing one in, and she has a really good foot on her, like she can strike those balls from range, and it was really really good from that. So honestly, I was shocked a little because I was like, how many shots are they going to attempt? And every time I thought, oh, okay, this is a waste. It would just Misa would have to make something of it, otherwise it would have probably gone in. Like it's crazy what their strategy was, but it was fun. It makes for a fun viewing. Wouldn't have been fun if we would have lost, but honestly, it was a very different approach, and I think one that was stemmed out of frustration more than anything. But it does show that they have some quality of players who can strike it from range and everything, so that adds to their threat a little bit. But let's get to the main the 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 MVP of the game, the player that scored both the goals for Real Madrid in the win, the player who looked like herself a little bit, her impactful best self, Athenea. In the absence of Caroline Weir, Linda Caicedo did not have the best of the games. In the absence of her, like sort of stepped up and got the first goal. Impressive finish, honestly. And then the second goal, very good positioning for to be able to sort of uh, give that room or give that option for Sara Debris to just turn that ball around into the net from Debris inside the box when it's so crowded. it is quite good, honestly. Like the way she did it. One of the finishers was left footed, as well. That first strike that she did was so well struck. It hit the bar and then went in. It was struck really well from her left foot. So it was quite nice. Like, when Athenea plays like this, where she's consistently going to take on the defender and she gets the best of them, or wins a foul, or is playing this, sort of associative combination play in the final third, where she's coming inside, where she's playing the ball in behind for a runner, or she's playing a quick little 1-2 and making the run in behind herself. Uh, it's quite nice to watch, because Athenia now has been at the club for a very long time, and she is one of the most experienced players here. And by this time, we would have expected her to, sort of be a player that can consistently deliver double digits in both goals and assists across all competitions, at least, at the very least. But I think, like, her output has been patchy, to say the least. And there have been instances where she has proven a little more frustrating than effective. And I think this game was everything that we would want her to be, like, an effective player who receives the ball out wide, very wide, hugging the touchline, and then picks it up and then just goes at the defender and multiple players, beating them for her pace, for her skill. And we would love to see that. And we got to see that against Levante in this game. What were your thoughts on that performance from Atenea?
Okay, guys, so get ready for my compliments to Athenea. It's been a long time coming, all season long, honestly. And yeah, as you said, more often than not, this season especially, she's been very frustrating, mostly with her weird decisions. But in this game, oh boy, did she was great. She was great. She really stepped up. And aside from those two goals, which you said it, the first goal is such a brilliant finish. The second one, right at the right place and all that. But she creates so much danger, and so many fun through passes as well. Like one of the first brilliant moments from her was actually in 7th minute, with her through pass to Alba in the box. Alba ended up getting, well, let's say, fouled on, in quotation marks, because the penalty wasn't given. We challenged it. That was such good thinking from Atenea. And there were countless many other through passes like that. She also, once again, she operated on both sides. She was switching sides. So, but I think like she was most prominent on the right in this game, and it was so good. It was so good to watch her play like that, and get the balls to the players inside the box when she would get inside, and usually try to find Alba or someone who's right in front of the goal, something like. It was so good to see her create so much danger, and more importantly, she completed free dribbles. Free dribbles. Regathenea is back, guys. Regathenea is back. I don't care. It's Levante. They're last on the table. Regathenea is back. Okay, this is a great comeback for her. Honestly, I hope this is a comeback. I honestly do. She's been. I think this is her third consecutive start, and she really delivered in this one. Really delivered. I'm so happy she got these two goals. She really needed them as well. And yeah, I mean, chef's kiss. I love to see this. I love to see. I love, when something so rare happens after such a long time. I'm so happy. You know, I'm not anti Atenea. I'm just rooting for her to always be better. So, way to go, girl.
Yeah, I think she had some 7 attempted dribbles as well in this game. So, like, she's
Mm.
definitely, like I said, she was going at the defenders, which is what you want her to be doing, and on a consistent basis. Yes, you'll fail a few times, but having that, relentlessness about you, wherein even if you lose the ball, you're still going at it against the opponent, is something that is a big part of these sort of wingers who, are very reliant on beating the defender 1v1 and trying to create chances from that. She is the same kind. Even like if you want to consider Clara Bull, like is a very good example, who loses a lot of the dribbles sometimes, but she is relentless at going at it, and that is where she draws her confidence from. If she's able to beat the defender, that is where her confidence steps in. Even like a player like Elena Julve, who is again a very fantastic dribbler, and her strength lies in the fact that she wants to take on the opposition, and that is what like adds value to what these players offer. So very happy that Athenea finally is in the goals again, is in creating chances again, and yeah, I hope it continues for a long time. So let's see. Up next, we have a very interesting competition that is, that should be one of teams' major aim every season to, try to win it, because it includes a semi-final and a final against, which are both single-legged. So, you can sort of snatch that win. We will be facing Atletico in the semis, and hopefully we come off with a win and go into the finals, and most likely will face Barcelona there. And who knows, maybe we can get one over them, because they are struggling with their own injury issues, and they are playing some youngsters in the lineup, quite a few youngsters in the lineup. So maybe we can take advantage of this opportunity and try to create something historical. Maybe 2026 will be the year where the club wins its first trophy, who knows. So here's to that. Here's to hoping that it will happen. And as always, we will be back with you guys to break those games down for you. And as always, once again, thank you for listening. And if you are new, please consider subscribing to the channel. And if you've been here, if you listen to us regularly, please do write a nice comment, or write what you thought about Athenea's performance in that game, or what you're thinking about anything, like if what you're thinking about Irune, Bella Andersson, Lakrar.
I
We
bet
are all
Kirat is
ears.
happy. I bet Kirat is ecstatic about this Athenea performance. So I also congratulate Kirat for this.
Yeah, so if you are listening to this, please like it, share it, and please do subscribe to it. So it helps us a lot. It keeps us motivated as well, and it helps the channel to grow a little bit as well. So yeah, and as always, really thankful to everyone who has shown their support over the time. And we will be back with the next one, like I mentioned, against Atletico Madrid in the Supercopa. Until then, Hala Madrid.
Real Madrid.